As kids, we all watched stick figure fighting videos. Maybe you were like me and watched the original animator versus animation videos by Alan Becker, or some of Hyun Dojo's videos back in the day. But a consistent element with these cartoons is the fact that they prioritize the action over the story. The same is true for the oldest, probably first cartoon in this genre, that being the 23-year-old series Madness Combat. It keeps the old super indie Newgrounds feel for the entirety of that series, so unlike animator versus animation, it didn't evolve, improve massively, or go in different directions with arcs. So because it stayed mostly stagnant, what must be asked is, does this old relic of a bygone era for internet animation still hold up today? Overview. Madness Combat is a Newgrounds cartoon that started in 2002 created by Crinkles. Despite the 5-year hiatus between episode 11 and 12, it continues on to this day as a still very popular and successful cartoon, to the point that it had games like Project Nexus, merch, and other series like Demo's Adventure. Despite some allegations of people who aren't Crinkles that worked on Madness Combat related things, which I won't get into at all, it really is that simple. The show's also simple, which is both good and bad, but what it undoubtedly gets right is its simplicity plus animation. When putting on anything Madness Combat related, you know what to expect. Some cool, slightly funny, violent action of Hank or Sanford and Demos killing a ton of random guys. The art style is charmingly simple and even a bit nostalgic, since even in its more recent episodes, it still feels like an early Flash cartoon. The animation is snappy, fluid, and satisfying to watch, and these aspects are all that get improved as the series goes on. Though for some reason in more recent episodes like 9 and onwards, it gets really floaty, as if Hank and everyone gain the ability to fly. The custom music used, like some of the stuff that you're hearing right now from Madness Combat 8, is also really freaking good. It completely fits the mood perfectly, and I'm not 100% sure if Crinkles or someone else made the music. I don't exactly remember. It's probably somewhere in the credits. But even whenever he chooses songs like the one in episode 2, where it's just like that cowboy theme playing over and over, it's still a really good choice. To me, that's it, and there's not much to it. Though it also kind of tries to tell a story, and that's where my issues start coming in. Confusing plot. Instead of a regular story like the previous things I reviewed, the story's secondary and most things just feel like stuff happening as opposed to plot. It's clear that Crinkles made it up as he went, and we know this because Hank didn't have his iconic design until episode 5, and it only started being serialized when the sheriff got killed in episode 3. The most clear events that happen are when the sheriff starts all the chaos in Nevada through the improbability machine in episode 3, and things like character deaths. Otherwise, for the most part, it's very vague and ambiguous. And there are even parts like in episode 4 at the start where it straight up says no reason, as if everything is intentionally nonsensical. Because of this, I'm not sure if I'm supposed to take the story seriously or not, or even how to criticize it, but I will nonetheless, because it fails at being clear even when it's obviously trying to say something. Basically nobody except Tricky speaks, which is still rare, and we get most of our information through tiny hints as if this is FNAF or something, through things like papers on the wall that say enlist in the 1337 crew, primary directive, torture Hank, AAHW, the only way to salvation is through unity of purpose, and wanted Hank J. Wimberton. Plus, the only reason why we know Tricky's name, even though everyone just calls him the Clown, is because he refers to himself as T in his notes, and in episode 4, we see his full DJ poster in the background in a few scenes. I think the only way to get this story is by watching it like 10 times while looking for tiny details, especially since certain things are blink and you miss it. For example, in episode 8, I didn't get that Jesus got some kind of infection through the machine on an initial watch, because the scene where that happens is also pretty quick, so I thought it was just a shadow guy's ability. The very vague storytelling only hurts the show if you're thinking about what's happening and why if you didn't already watch it 10 times. And it's not the biggest issue in the world since the main point is a cool action, but nonetheless, if you're not super into making theories or watching Madness Combat lore videos, you're probably not going to understand what's happening since, like the title, the story's similarly just madness happening. Substanceless. Due to the story being secondary to everything else, there's not any substance to the series unless again you're theory-minded, and its main thing of just cool action despite it continually ramping up in chaoticness gets tiresome and becomes a drag to get through quickly. This kind of show, like Happy Tree Friends, is clearly best enjoyed in bursts, which isn't my thing since I'd rather just watch a show straight or in one sitting, which is what I did for my initial and rewatch for the show. By episode 8, I really wanted to call it because by then I got the deal. Violence, violence, violence. It's simple, and I get that it's one of the first of its kind, but I've seen it before. And again, I'm hesitant to criticize the characters since the show says that there's no reason behind what happens in episode 4, but I'll do so anyway in case I'm supposed to take them seriously despite that. Because nobody speaks and it's mostly just fighting, characters are more like entities with different clothes and attributes instead of personalities. Hank has red goggles and a face mask as if COVID is still a threat. He's serious, and he's probably like the third strongest character under Tricky and the Shadow Demon. Deimos is more silly, he smokes, and he has a hat and headphones as if he's a scout from TF2, and Sanford's more serious like Hank, but he's like Deimos' brother or something. He also mostly uses the hook to fight. Tricky's the most memorable since he's a psychotic, super powerful zombie clown that wants vengeance on Hank since Hank killed him, and he's really stubborn. Of course, there's Jesus and the Shadow Guy and like the Sheriff, but there's really not much of them either. I'm not saying it has to have super deep or awesome normal lore like most other cartoons, and it does the action that it wants to well, but because of that, as someone with zero nostalgia for this, there's nothing I see that keeps you watching outside of the chaos. No story doesn't equal bad, plus does it hold up. You might think that I think this is just a bad show, but that's not what I'm saying. Even if all future criminals love this cartoon, it's cool, and I get why you future murder suspects enjoy it. Jokes aside, it being one of the first of its kind in a 23-year-old web series that keeps the vibe of an old Newgrounds cartoon is a cool niche, but because of my personal preferences and what I like, it's not something I'd go out of my way to watch or suggest to anyone. I don't mind simple or even episodic stories, but I don't like extremely vague, confusing cartoons that you have to watch like 10 times over, or a lore video to understand it. And for this review, I could have read a lot of what was on the wiki or watched a lore video, but that's not really a critique on the actual madness combat anymore, and instead a critique on how someone summarized what they just watched instead, which is why I stuck strictly to the main series. By itself, I don't think it holds up, and I think it's still successful because of nostalgia and when it came out, and I get that. If you watched my previous video, you know that I hated that show, but the music from it is still extremely nostalgic and inspiring for me, so I listen to it all the time despite it not being the best in my opinion. But I have no nostalgia or rose-tinted glasses for Madness Combat, and because of that, I don't see much special with this series outside of its age, success, and art style, since I've already seen so many stick figure fighting animations. Madness Combat to me is just another one of those, and if you thought it was amazing outside of just the fights or some lore video, then certainly explain why in the comments. Conclusion. There's not much to this one, so there's not much to review, and it's why this will probably be my shortest video ever. You could have watched it early if you became a member for $3, but because of the length of this one, I'll release it a few days after my PCFS video. If you want to see extra videos or early ones like my immediate thoughts on Madness Combat, which is pretty different from this review, then become a member. Like the video, join the server, subscribe, leave a comment for if I maybe missed something, which is possible because of how the story's told and because I got bored of it pretty fast. And may Jesus bless you so you can have a good rest of your day. At some point, like, Tricky the Clown or whatever gets like possessed by a super demon man. I'm gonna just call him Satan, I guess, because Satan in this beats Jesus. That's really unfortunate, but he does. That's what happens in the show, and then he possesses Tricky or whatever, and then they start fighting, and then for whatever reason, oh yeah, by the way, the Hanks, the two Hanks, I'm guessing they merged or something to create like Super Hank, and he has like this weird bug arm. I don't know. I really don't. And then Deimos like he can it was shown in his specific like special series that he can like, so there is a bit where like Stanford got shot in the legs and then Deimos went back into the room and then it went back in time because it said no or something like that, and then he was unshot in the legs, and it was like, okay, so does he have like time manipulation powers? But he doesn't do this again, so it's like, I don't know. And then like Deimos like in like part 11 or something has like superpowers for some reason. Why does he have superpowers? Again, why are there two Hanks? I can't get over that. Why are there two Hanks? I was like, okay, maybe we'll get more on this, but we don't get more on this. It's just like they're just two Hanks, and it feels like every